KSC Present. This artist left his daughter while she was a baby, but then 16 years later she saved his life. As an artist, Matjames Metson creates his vibrant works with old objects that he uncovers. Away from the studio, though, he has a fascinating story to tell about his personal life. Indeed, Metson walked out on his baby girl when he was a teenager, but she saved his life over a decade later. During Metson's younger years, his family didn't really have a permanent place to call home. His mom and dad both shared the same passion that he eventually developed, while his stepdad had an interest in art too. The latter plied his trade as a tutor in the subject, moving from one educational establishment to another. Metson shed some light on that period in his life during an interview with the BBC News website in July 2020. "We moved endlessly. It seemed like I'd never really had an opportunity to make actual friends," he recalled. "I'd meet people and then we would leave, so it always gave me this distance that I still hold on to today, I think." Following that spell, Metson's clan decided to pack their bags for Yellow Springs, Ohio, as they said goodbye to their home in France. From there, the future artist settled in at his new high school, and his life changed forever at the age of 16 when he encountered a girl named Selani. "Selani walked into my American history class and I was just blown away," Metson explained. "I was like, oh my god, who is that? It was an instant. I need to know who that person is." We got together and we had a relationship for several years, and then it had actually ended. Yet despite that, Metson's former girlfriend soon dropped a bombshell on him. "We had what they call now a hookup, and Selani became pregnant. But we were still not a couple," the artist continued. "I was utterly terrified. It threw my world upside down. By that point, he was still in his teens. I didn't have the faculty to deal with the pregnancy in any sense. I was too young, too naive, and I didn't know what to do." Regardless of his attitude, though, his old flame eventually welcomed his daughter in the world, naming the baby Tyler. Off the back of that big moment, Metson and Selani agreed to see each other outside a local nature reserve. The latter brought Tyler with her as well and gave Metson a chance to cradle their little girl. But it proved to be the briefest of meetings in the end, as the young dad still wasn't ready to embrace parenthood. "I held Tyler in my arms for about 30 seconds, I'd say, and that was it," Metson recalled. "I didn't understand that it was my child on an emotional level. I knew biologically I was involved, and I just was like, oh my god, this is just really heavy. I don't know how to react to this. I don't know what to do." On that note, Metson made a significant decision that went on to shape much of his life. "It's classic fight or flight," he said. "Having zero self-esteem at the time, I chose to run and continue to do so." Just like in his younger years, the teenager found himself out on the road again. After leaving Ohio, Metson planned to visit his dad, who at the time lived in Montreal, Canada. However, his journey up north proved to be quite challenging as the authorities on the border stopped him, and they saw that the teen was carrying a pipe and a book that contained a marijuana leaf. From there, the young father eventually packed his bags again and headed down to Boston, Massachusetts. He was virtually penniless at the time, staying with a group of pals from the school. During that period, Metson formed a romantic relationship with another woman. But unfortunately for him, his personal life again began to crumble around half a year later. Metson's partner formed a romantic bond behind his back with someone else, and to make matters even worse, it was with a man he knew. Before long he was told to leave their home to make way for her new boyfriend, who just happened to be sporting items from Metson's wardrobe. In addition to that pain, Metson was still harboring feelings of shame and remorse for abandoning his baby too. So as a result of all that, the New Orleans resident suffered a mental collapse. He subsequently spent time at a local medical facility as he attempted to recover. At the end of Metson's stint at the hospital, he opted to move to French Quarter, which is one of New Orleans' most famous areas, although he didn't have a place to call home. The artist managed to ingratiate himself with the locals. In his opinion, the previous couple of months might have played a role in that. I went into the hospital as a fairly anonymous resident of New Orleans, Metson told the BBC, but I came out and it gave me some sort of mistake. And suddenly I knew everybody. I was living in someone's closet and I didn't have anything except for my pants. So I'd go to the coffee house, the bar or wherever people were, and I was embraced as a character and a spectacle. Metson continued, given his living situation, his art was confined to the page of a while, before things began to change. As the dad became comfortable in New Orleans, he unleashed his bubbling creative juices. Indeed, Metson became what's known as an assemblage artist. Before long, Metson's output was being included in local exhibitions, while he also gave lectures to university students. He took on jobs as a delivery agent and a barman to make money as well. His employment situation had improved as he reached his 30s, by which time he had regular work renovating artisans' equipment. Sadly, though, that stability was shattered in the middle 2000s. At that stage, Metson found himself living in Los Angeles, California, with his beloved dogs, because he'd lost his old home in Louisiana. Everything that he'd worked for threatened to collapse. But he received a vital boost when his daughter decided to ring him. I was braced for the end, Metson admitted. My capacity for self-preservation was slipping and slipping and slipping, and I had nowhere to really turn. That is, until the phone call, which not only saved my life, but it changed my life when he picked up. A 16-year-old Tyler Hurwitz greeted him from the other end. Hurwitz asked Metson, "Have you ever heard the name Tyler before?" To which he responded, "Tyler? I've been waiting for this call for 16 years. From there, the teenager posed her father a difficult question. She wanted to know if he resented her in any way, given the manner in which he'd left in the past. Metson recalled, "I said, I really don't hate you. Do you hate me?" And Hurwitz said, "No, like here I am, a total messed up, traumatized artist guy who had zero to offer her, but we talked about music, and we talked about this and that. I really feel as though my spine straightened and my eyes opened." As for Hurwitz, she and Selany had stayed in Ohio after Metson took to the road. The youngster began to develop an interest in arts, following in both her mom and dad's footsteps. She also spent her formative years with a stepfather and half-sister at home. On that note, Hurwitz made a frank admission while talking to BBC News. "I had so many people and family and friends." Metson felt energized and planned to get back into the swing of creating new pieces. And his new art was subsequently displayed in various exhibitions. Not only that, but the dad opened up his own studio in Los Angeles as well, which marked an incredible personal turnaround. Due to that upturn in fortune, Metson and Horowitz planned to see each other at one of his shows. The pair finally came together in Los Angeles, and the latter noted the similarities between them. The Yellow Springs resident had a surprise waiting for her, too, when she examined a piece by her dad. If you open this door and unlatch this thing and you slide this over, you'd look down in there, Horowitz told the BBC News. And in between a bunch of nails, you'd find my name. So my name is hidden in a lot of Metson's work. You have to search for it, but it's definitely there. And it's cool knowing where to look. Since then, they've maintained a relationship, and they haven't been afraid to speak of that fateful day, when he took off. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.